Robert, we have to talk.
Okay.
It's about Arlene.
Jesus Christ.
She said she did not like the way you spoke to her the other day.
Well, I simply did what you asked me to.
I asked you to address the issue of her constantly snacking on company time.
Yes. And that's what I did.
And I told you to be extra sensitive, because Arlene is a very sensitive woman, especially about her weight.
I thought I was sensitive.
Robert.
What?
She said you made offensive remarks to her. She said she's going to make an official complaint to Paul.
That's stupid. Fucking bitch.
I told her, before the complaint went through, that I'd talk to you first to get your side of the story.
That lazy, gargantuan behemoth.
So, do you want to tell me what happened exactly?
Yes. Sure. I will tell you what fucking happened. Ready?
Yes, Robert. And please calm down and watch your language.
I was aware, I must be honest, of Arlene stuffing her face between, and sometimes during, sales calls, with many entertainment donuts, candy bars and so forth. To be honest, I didn't give a fuck. If the woman wants to eat herself to death, then fine, let her, because in all honesty, I never cared much for her, neither as a person nor as a worker, and that has nothing to do, I assure you, with her complaining about me. The only thing I was concerned about was leaving crumbs around and attracting cockroaches and even rodents. Because there is no way I'm going to work among infestation just because that woman cannot stop stuffing her face.
Okay, Robert. Please get to the part of how you addressed her snacking.
Right. So anyway, I never said anything to her until you, Kristen, told me that Paul saw her eating a Milky Way bar or some shit during a sales call, and that it pissed him off, that being against company policy, etc., etc., etc. So he said something to you, you said something to me, and now I had to say something to Arlene. Chain of fucking command, am I right? So, the next morning, I keep my eye on her, waiting to catch her in the act. This did not take long at all. 20 minutes after she gets to her desk, this is 9:20 in the fucking morning, she starts eating a Butterfingers. 9:20 in the fucking morning. I kid you not. So I get up and head over to her desk. But, before I go on, I'd like to make myself clear on something.
Sure. Go ahead.
I am not prejudiced against overweight people, nor do I make jokes at their expense. I have a cousin who's struggled with his weight all his life. Son of a bitch can get into his car without the one side sinking to the ground. Weighs something like 450 pounds, or at least he did the last time I saw him. The SOP might be over 500 now for all I know. Anyway, the point is that I understand, I sympathize with people who struggle with their weight and would in a way make light of their predicament.
Noted. Please continue.
So, I go up to Arlene, who's practically finished the entire candy bar by the time I reach her desk, and say, in as gentle a voice as possible, you know, Arlene, that it is against company policy to eat at your desk. Any food consumed has to be in the break room, either during your 15-minute break or during your lunch hour. She apologized profusely, saying she forgot, and that she was sorry, and that it would never happen again. I said no problem, just don't let it happen again, etc., and went back to my office, assuming that was the end of it.
But it wasn't?
Fuck, the next day, I had to go to the city for a meeting in the morning, and so didn't get to our office until 10:30. As soon as I walk in, guess who I see stuffing her face with a Snickers bar?
Arlene.
Yep. As soon as she sees me, she quickly puts it away in a hurry. I roll my eyes, not wanting to deal with this shit, but she saw me see her eating at her desk, as did everyone else in the office, so I have no choice but to say something, so I walk over to her desk. Arlene, I say. Do you remember what we talked about yesterday? Again, she apologizes profusely, etc., and then I, in a tone a bit firmer than the one I used the day before, told her she was not to eat food at her desk.
Okay. Now tell me what happened Thursday. That was the day she said you were insensitive.
Insensitive my ass. But sure, I will tell you what happened on fucking Thursday. I had meetings the first 2 hours of my day, and so I didn't step out of my office until around 11 o'clock. And guess who I saw eating a s'mores at her desk?
Oh, boy?
Oh boy is right. This time, as I approach her desk, she doesn't even try to fucking hide the thing, she just keeps stuffing her face. At this point, I am thoroughly pissed off, because the whole office is watching, and I look like I cannot enforce discipline. So, with my arms spread out, I say to her, "We seem to be having a communication problem." She finishes eating her s'mores, her eyes to her desk, then looks up at me. "I'm sorry, Robert. But I was hungry." I sighed, paused a moment, then said, "Listen, Arlene. Eat before your shift. Eat after your shift. Eat during your break. Eat during your lunch hour. Eat in the fucking bathroom stall. Just do not eat food at your fucking desk." I then told her if it happened again I would write her up, then I returned to my office.
Well,
Yes. Well,
I do not suppose you were out of line. I can understand your frustration. You did tell her 2 previous times.
damn right I did.
Next time, though, if anything like this happens again, I would suggest having the employee come into your office so you could address the issue in private rather than in front of the whole office. Is that clear, Robert?
Is what clear?
That you are to discipline employees only in private and never in front of other employees?
Sure. Whatever.
Okay, then.
Is that it?
Yes, Robert. You can go.